evening, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Pilot Review Show. I am Captain Blade J52, and I am joined by some of my merry band of misfit cohorts. We have the teacher of the Kirby variety spinning around like a jackass on the floor of my bridge.
I'm sitting while I'm doing it. Anyway, yes, I'm here. Hi, everybody out there in Twitch and YouTube land. Good evening.
And we also have, somewhere out in the Delta Quadrant, everyone's favorite RP hologram, Artie.
So might as well, you know, can't see me without the headset, I guess.
Yep, so he's out on special assignment, but we've got a few good bits of exciting info to get through this week for you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. And grab a drink right quick. I was about to choke on a Hershey's Kiss. But, yeah, so that wouldn't have been fun. But, anyways, now that the crisis has been averted, not that anybody's really surprised that one would happen, we have our Zen discounts and pack sale on the X-Bone. From April the 10th until April the 16th at 8 a.m. Pacific Time, Xbox captains with Xbox Gold can get their hands on Zen for 15% off or more and get in-game packs at discounted prices. So for the 500 Zen pack, you'll get or the 500 and 1000 Zen deals, you'll get a 15% discount. So if it's normally $4.99, it will be $4.24. The 2000 and 5300 Zen packs get a 20% discount. So what would normally be 20 bucks worth of Zen will only cost you around 16 bucks. Then the $100 and $200 Zen packs will get you a 25% discount. So normally what would cost you $100 will only run you 75 bucks, and what would normally cost 200 will only cost you 150. So that's a pretty good deal. Then for all of the packs, they are running 20% off. So the Starfleet, the Empire, the Legacy Pack, the Federation Starter Pack, KDF Starter Pack, Romulan Legacy Starter Pack, and Final Frontier bundles all are 20% off. You can hopefully see some of this on the screen, or if you're viewing this in the notes later on, you should be able to see for the big Final Frontier pack, normally costing about 8,000 Zen, will only run you 6,400 with the discount here. So pretty good time to get out there and get those packs.
Yeah, I
quick
always
thoughts
like
from you guys.
the Zen discounts and the pack sales and the sales. It's always they're always a good combination. You really get the most bang for your buck.
Yeah,
you know, if you're going to buy Zen, then that's the best time to do it. And then when they combine that with a pack sale or a ship sale, which I believe the ship sale we're currently on, we'll talk more about, I believe that's for all three platforms. But you combine it with that, and it's just, you get the most bang for your buck with it. So yeah.
Yep, any discount's a good discount.
Yes.
But anyways, we will have that in the description for you guys on the notes, so you can check that out. It will be going again until the 16th, so you've got a little bit of time left to take advantage of this. Highly encourage you guys to do so, because there are some packs out there that are definitely well worth it.
Yes.
And moving along, we have a deal weekend for the PC.
To me because I didn't tell him before now. It's not my fault he didn't read. Anyway. But I jest.
And you're fired.
Okay. So you can earn that lithium ore by playing content throughout the game. And right now, during this weekend, you get double dilithium ore for dilithium mining. That's any of the daily mining missions at the Vlugta asteroid field, or the rich dilithium claims, also at the Vlugta asteroid field. Also, the fleet dilithium mine gives 100% dilithium, bonus dilithium ore, or double dilithium, for the daily mining missions there. This goes until April 12th. Everywhere else in the game is a 50% bonus dilithium ore, so time and a half. So for example, if you, like me, turn over contraband every day, your 5 contraband this weekend will get you 3,000 dilithium instead of the normal 2,000. And so on and so forth, and this is throughout the game. The dilithium rewards do not affect the rewards from the Endeavor system or the reputation or final Admiralty claim. So for example, somebody yesterday got up to completed the 10 of 10 on the Ferengi Admiralty, and they only got the normal 32k dill for that. So it is not boosted by the dilithium weekend. Comments?
Definitely a good time to get out there and farm that dill, especially
Yes.
in my favorite place, the Dyson Ground Battle Zone. Usually, assuming you get a good zone and everything, about 20 minutes per tune on a normal day, and
Yep.
you can cap out a single character. So yeah. But anyways, we will have that in the notes for you guys. You can check out their little blog here to see what different kinds of rewards you can get and all that kind of jazz.
Yep.
But definitely get out there and get that dilithium.
And
This
again,
is
this
one of
runs
the best
until
times
Monday
to
the
get out there and farm
16th,
it.
so definitely, yeah, until the 10th, or not 10th, till Monday the 16th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Da-da-da. Words tonight. Yeah.
Fail.
Okay.
But anyways, moving along, we have the Alachi invasion.
Yes, the Alachi
for
has invaded the
console
PlayStation 4 and
players.
Xbox One. This started Thursday, April 12th, and will end at April 16th. Basically, you have the Alachi red alert, and you get the 50% bonus to mark rewards during this event, for this event. So you get, a little bit extra marks for taking out those weird-looking, whatever they are. I'm going to call them mushrooms. They look like mushrooms. Yeah, there you go.
Like, you remember Super Mario Brothers?
Oh, Goombas.
They look like those, but
Oh, jeez.
the stalk grew into the torso and sprouted arms and legs. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
I will agree that's a fair, yeah, that works. But yes, basically got to go kill Alachi and get a lot of marks out of it. So I think this is a win-win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But anyways, definitely check that out. You can definitely get a good chunk of marks out of this. But moving along, we have our patch notes for PC for the 12th. And there's not really a lot to them, but there are some to make note of. For the Renegade's Regret, there's actually 4 little sub-notes, I guess you could say. It says, added a shortcut scene of the bombed moon in Atose.
Atose.
However the
Yeah,
heck you
Atose.
say that name. Thank you. It says, made some minor updates to other cutscenes, resolved further issues with Zenkethi mouth movement and cutscenes, Resolved an issue where players would be referred by the correct or incorrect name when speaking in chat. My personal favorite, resolved an issue which was causing the terrain to be missing in the episode A New Link.
Darn.
No. And resolved an issue which would cause power tray settings to change after playing as another character or ship, like in the Renegade's Regret. Starbase 24. This queued map now sets enemies to the average level of all players participating on the map. Resolved an issue where Riemann shield visuals were bright white in Sol System. And finally, resolved an issue where the slipstream drive UI was incorrect when in any ship with a non-standard slipstream drive.
Well, short, sweet.
Yeah,
I'm glad they fixed some of the simple stuff. Quote unquote simple.
I am glad they fixed the New Link mission, because that's pretty game breaking. You know, when you can't progress like that. You can't get through an episode like that. So.
Yep. And for once, it wasn't me that broke it.
I mean, they didn't all have to drink.
Apparently, they beat me by about 20 minutes.
Darn.
So would that technically mean I have to take the drink?
We've never run into this issue before.
What were your rules?
I don't know. They didn't exactly tell me. All I know is whenever I break something...
And for people out there, you come up with the new rules then. Because we're having some issues trying to find the book now.
I think we're
Yeah. But anyways... moving right along, we have the Zen Charge bonus.
PC captains are also getting a Zen Charge bonus in addition to the Xbox guys. Let's see, from April 12th until April 16th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So you'll get some bonus Zen when you purchase it through Direct Credit Card, PayPal, Skrill, Boa Compra, Exola, PaySafe Card, or Steam. Okay, and it's only available for the following payment processors, and it lists them again. The bonus is if you buy $10, you get a 15% bonus. $20 gives you a 20% bonus. $50 gives you a 20% bonus. $100, which is the most popular, gives you a 25% bonus. And $200 also gives you a 25% bonus. Questions, comment? Yeah.
I believe that about covers it. If you've been looking to scrounge up some Zen, this is actually a good time. If
money.
you've got
if you're planning on spending money,
some cash
now's
you're
the
willing
time.
to spend. Yep. Get that good deals and keep the game doors open,
Yes,
if you know
definitely.
what I mean. But anyways, moving along, we have the final 4 cast members.
Yes.
Joining
Here's
Victory
some
is
of the
Life.
fun stuff that you guys are going to really enjoy. Alright, so right now we all know that we already have a few actors. I'm going to just go ahead and list them off so we know who's already with us. And I'll get the new guy. Got Alexander Siddig for Andrew Robinson as Garrick, Armin Shimmerman as Quark, Aaron Eisenberg as Nog, Jeffrey Combs as Wayun and Brunt, A.G. Hertzler as Martok, Nana Visitor as Kira, and then Renee Abujinois as Odo. So that's who we do know is already here. Now
There's
for who's...
one correction there.
Oh, did I miss one?
No, you didn't miss anybody, but you did mispronounce somebody's name. It's not Nana Visitor, it's Nana. And this was, I watched an interview with her last week by Aaron Eisenberg and Garrett Wong, and they made a point of that. So the name is Nana Visitor.
Good point. That was my mistake there.
That's okay. I used to say Nana too until I watched that interview. So.
But now we have 4 new guys. So we got Chase Masterson presenting as Lita, the real Lita, not a hologram, not the mirror version. And this is going to be her first time as Lita actually meeting our captains, admirals, whatever you want to call it, our characters. That's going to be fun. Then we also have our Grand Nagus, Rom, Max Grodnicek. All right. Then as Rom, he's going to have some exciting tales to give us and whatnot. So that's going to be some fun things to do while we're battling the Herc. And we got from back in Deep Space Nine, there was an episode called The Abandoned, where a young Jemadar was found as a baby, or something like that, I believe it was. Well, either way,
yeah.
The character, Bumper Robinson, will be playing that said Jemadar, and he'll be around and helping us as he, does things, while we do things, taking out the Herc. Playing the Jemadar Durkan Rex, as now Elder First. And finally, we have
Salome Jens.
Salome Jens, that was the female changeling back in DS9. I have another face that our characters have seen once before. That's going to be fun.
Yes, most definitely. I know there was a lot of speculation about her, whether she was coming back, because she is in her 80s, in her early 80s. And so there was a lot of speculation as to whether or not she was still voice acting. But apparently she is.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. I'm excited. How about you guys?
I am. I'm really looking forward to this expansion. There's so many good actors that are, good characters that are coming back and reprising or good actors that are coming back and reprising their great characters. So, and we get. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I just think it's pretty cool that she's actually able to still come back and actually wants to. That's a pretty cool thing. And we have a late joiner this evening, which is our resident Neela of the Titan variety.
I was playing League. I was playing my ranked. I was trying to get placements.
We get you.
Understandable. Minus 50 DKP for being late.
No. It's not DK. It's essence.
Whatever.
Okay.
Minus an additional 5 essence for the back chatter. I'm just messing with you, but anyways, we were just discussing the final 4
Talk about the
cast
player
members
models. I mean,
being
look at how detailed these guys are. It's really nice.
I know, yeah.
And is that Wayne behind the Jemadar there? Kinda like him.
Yes, it is actually.
Because Jeffrey Combs is bringing back both Wayoon and Brunt.
Front FCA.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun.
You did that really well.
Too well.
He does. He does.
He does it a little too well.
But anyway.
Though, I have to say, I am hoping for an episode similar to when they had to rescue Moogie. I hope there's an All-Ferengi episode like that in here again. Because that's just going to be freaking epic if they manage to include something like that. But, anyways, that's our final cast members and everything. We'll, as we get closer and closer to the expansion, hopefully we'll be able to find out more. Maybe what some other characters are going to be doing, when we might encounter them, all that kind of good stuff. But, anyways, Moving along, we have a 20% ship sale
I
on the
believe this is
PC.
yours.
I believe it is too. So, from April the 12th until April the 16th, we are having a 20% ship sale and everything. It says...
It says all.
I was trying to see if it said specifically if it was...
Read the
straight
notes.
PC, but
Put in parentheses.
Yeah, it says all.
what does it say? Oh, okay. All platforms then, so that's even better. It says... So for this particular sale, it says all ships and dry dock slots are 20% off, and then it only includes bundles that are comprised of ships. It says does not include bundles that have other items besides ships in them. The ship upgrade token bundle, and fleet modules are 20% off also. Each time a player buys a Tier 5 ship, they will receive a free ship upgrade token. It says this only occurs when a Tier 5 ship is bought for the first time on an account. The claim for this token will appear in the Promotions tab of the C-Store. When the player clicks Claim, they will receive a bound-to-account ship upgrade token in their inventory, and the product will disappear from the Promotions tab. It says these tokens stack if a player buys 3 Tier 5 ships at once. It says they'll be able to claim 3 promotional tokens. And it says the Tier 5 bundles will have the equivalent of tokens as to the number of ships in the bundle. And the example they give is buying the Dyson Mega Bundle will give the player 9 tokens. So, with our Zen charge bonuses going on and a ship sale on top of that, this is a very, very good time to get out there, pick up those certain ships you've been after for a while. Maybe it's the Odyssey, maybe it's the Tier 6 Miranda, maybe it's an Arbiter. Whatever it is you're after, this is a great time to go for them. I have personally not done so just yet.
I bought...
I'm trying to see if I can... Well, I'm trying to see if I can swing my cash,
I bought
but you know how
the
that goes.
Miracle Worker bundle on my free-to-play account. And I bought the
Sweet.
Allied Pilot Ships Mega Bundle on my main account. So, yeah, those hurt. 9,600 Zen each. I work hard for my Zen, I don't buy it. I can't use cash for it because I can't afford to, so I work hard for that Zen. But yeah.
Bullshit.
Yep. But...
Anyway.
Yeah, thoughts from our other
Nothing
two
really to add.
screwballs in
It's
here.
Coffee.
a lot of good stuff.
Coffee. Yes,
Yeah,
I will.
flying around
Turn
no
into a
windows. I think
curfew
he's already
one of
there.
those
Yeah.
days. Leave it to Neela.
No.
But anyways,
No.
moving along,
You
we
got
had
cut off
the
early.
Hearts and Minds episode. What? It
It
did?
was only for the day. That day.
No, they
Well,
they had it on the blog
well,
when it
Anyways,
announced for the 13th to the 15th.
Yep.
And then they shut it off today.
Ah.
well, that sucks. Well, we had Hearts and Minds returning, but since that got shut off and everything, we'll skip over that one. And that brings us to the Phoenix prize pack for the consoles.
Yep. With the Phoenix box returning for the console, it's a nice way to go ahead and spend some of that dough that you're saving, that you really don't have a use for. Or if you want to try your luck for an ultra rare or epic token, get one of those ships that you've been eyeing from there, or get those emotes, tech upgrades. Me personally, I like to go for the Jemadar attack ship. It's because it's so fun to whip around.
Love them bug ships.
Anything else?
Those Phoenix prize packs are good ways to get things that are no longer available in the game. So,
Oh yeah, and also one thing. Kabali ship. Don't get it from there.
yes.
Get it from the Arc app on said platform.
Yep. It is one thing. I'm glad Neela brought that up for people that play on console and everything and whatnot. Although the SAMSAR is available from the box, the one that you get from the box here is a character unlock only. Whereas if you save up your ARC points, you can unlock an account-wide version of the SAMSAR through the ARC store. So that is a really good thing to keep in mind. And you've got a pretty good selection of stuff to pick from on here. Some of, I know my personal favorites are the red matter capacitor from the Very Rare. It's a very nice thing. Crystalline Energy Torp. Let's see, where's the Crystalline Absorption Matrix. I know some of the duty officers are pretty good. And then you can get some tribbles, some emotes.
Phoenix
so yeah,
upgrades.
some pretty interesting stuff in here. And definitely those. And the Phoenix upgrades, like Kirby's mentioning, they are a universal tech upgrade that you can get. They're technically what I would refer to, and I think most of the crew here would agree with me, they're what we would technically refer to as prepaid upgrades, so to speak. They're universal tech upgrades. They do not require dilithium to apply them and everything, but you do kind of have to pay a nice little chunk of dilithium up front in terms of the box itself in order to get the upgrade. So technically they are prepaid upgrades in that sense, but very well worth picking up. But moving along, we had the Renegade's Regret Week 2 rewards.
I believe, is that you?
Is that you? I think that's you.
Was it me? Okay. Sorry. I'm usually some Neela
I don't care who it is.
Neela
It's money you take it.
threw me off. Okay. So each week they roll out new rewards for the featured episode. This time it's Renegade's Regret. So this week we get to choose between two different traits. For the ground trait, we got Watch Your Back, or space trait, Redirected Armor Plating. And in addition, you also get your featured episode weekly reward box, which gives you a choice of an enhanced universal tech upgrade or a captain specialization point box. I always choose the spec point. But yeah, so I've actually been playing around with the redirected armor plating. It's interesting for build that's looking to gain survivability. It looks quite interesting.
Oh yeah.
Questions, comments?
Oh no, I'm really happy about the traits, because I mentioned this when I was looking over the constable stuff, going, you know what would really work here? And then this came around. I was like, that's exactly what I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I need more resistance on my sides. Forget my back. I got the pilot tree for that.
Yep.
I know for me, I actually need to go out and get the trade. I've not ran the episode again yet this week. Been catching up on some other games and whatnot, but if it plays out, I know I'm slacking, but if it plays out the way that I'm thinking it will, I might be able to replace a certain trait that I've been using. And I'll let that slip after the show and everything, just to kind of keep some of you out there in suspense. Can't give all my secrets out right away, you know, but, you know, point being. But, yeah, definitely go out, check out the episode again, see how you like the traits and whatnot, and if nothing else, hey, it's a free trait. Can't necessarily sneeze it free. But, and free spec point, that's always another good thing. But, anyways, moving along to our final segment of the evening, we have the Win a Cabin and every ship in the sea storm.
You all know about the Star Trek cruise. Yes, for Star Trek Online, they're doing what? Where's all of a sudden? Yeah, Win a Cabin is what they're doing. They've done this before. You can win a 6-day cruise, every ship in the Star Trek Online Sea Store, but only for the PCs, as well as what they called a Steel Series prize pack, which I'll get to that in just a moment. You all know that the Star Trek cruise, it will be beaming out January 2009 on the Norwegian Jade, and you get to hang out with people like Michael Dorn, Dennis Crosby, Robert Picardo, everyone, you know? And even a lot of the new guys.
So I have to travel back in time 10 years.
Wait. My bad.
You said 2009.
I said 2009, didn't I? Whoops.
Yeah, you did.
2019. What year is it? This is what happens when I'm stuck in the computer core. I'll just let you guys know this. But, no, moving on. The Steel Series pack is a thing from the group called Steel Series, which is, I believe, a computer group that, you know, sells mouse pads, headphones, that sort of thing. You'll be winning a Actis 7 wireless headset, a Rival 600 mouse, Apex M750 board, and the Quick Plus mousepad, which is all really nice stuff, especially for, you know, gaming on Star Trek Online. Want the best. Wireless headsets all where it's at these days. Easy enough to sign up to win. On the same article, you have below it that do the, you know, different little buttons that goes to the different websites, like checking out the Star Trek Cruise website, following people on Twitter, that sort of thing, and you get an entry. Simple as that. There you go.
Also, as of this
I believe
video, there's 12 days.
Yes. That is the detail I did miss. Yes, that is exactly it.
Yep.
Apparently, you guys don't read the little blips I put in next to each thing.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
I put those in there for a
entirely
reason.
correct statement.
I'll be honest, I thought Kirby did that.
No.
I could feel the amount of face desk coming from Neela's direction right now.
I used to do it, but when Neela joined us, he took over.
loading the
I know we're
shotgun
streaming, but
to-
hang on.
User was moved out of your channel. User was moved to your channel.
Hey, at least he moved him back.
I'm back.
I know, right? Okay.
Thankfully, I did
Yes,
not have
that
phonetics
could
turned
have
on,
been.
because that could have been a lot worse.
Alright.
Bungee belt time.
But, yeah. But, anyways, that's our articles that we have for this evening. Definitely check that stuff out. We will have it all in the notes for you guys. But, moving on to our budget build of the evening. And apparently I am getting spammed by somebody. I'll answer him later. But, off screen here. But, anyways, continuing on with our Jem'Hadar series, this week we have a Jem'Hadar heavy escort carrier. We've been kind of starting a Jem'Hadar based series leading into our new Victory is Life expansion, kind of giving people some ideas, hopefully, of what they can do with the Jem'Hadar ships we have in game currently. Because I know a lot of people are going to want to acquire at least one Jem'Hadar ship for their new character and whatnot. Last week we actually covered the Tier 6 Dreadnought carrier. This week we're going with the Tier 6 Heavy Escort. Next week we may end up doing a bug ship or something along those lines. That's not been entirely decided yet, but we'll be kind of doing builds similar to these going into the expansion. And of course you're still welcome to submit requests and everything, but this is just kind of something we wanted to do. Now for this week's particular build, we decided to go with a phaser theme for it. The premise behind this particular build was maybe this ship was one that functioned off of stolen Federation technology picked up from the Dominion War, or maybe with the threat of the Herc now on the horizon, the Jem'Hadar and the Alliance sort of collaborated a little bit, and this particular heavy escort carrier is one combining Jem'Hadar and Federation/Alliance type technology. For our forward weapons on the ship, we have our quantum phase beam array, and we have 3 of the dual beam banks on the front of the ship. Now the reason why the quantum phase beam array is in array form and not in a dual bank form is because there is no quantum phase dual beam bank. Otherwise we would have had that on the ship. Now, although there is one odd beam array out, we felt it was worth not having 4 dual banks on here for the 3 set bonuses you can get. But in the rear of the ship we have our Trilithium Omni from the Beyond the Nexus mission. We also have our Quantum Phase Torpedo, and then we have another crafted Omni in the back, again all phaser based. And then we'll take a look at some of our set bonuses in just a minute. Now for our shields, our engines, and our deflector, we went with the Quantum Phase set for this. Now the Quantum Phase set is one that has a very nice punch, especially with its 3 set bonuses. Some of the items themselves, they're pretty straightforward, especially the deflector and the engines, and really even the shields. Pretty much what you see is what you get. They're not bad items on their own and everything, but their real power is in their set bonuses. Now typically, as far as to how this works is into the tanking realm, this particular set focuses more on damage recovery than it does upfront negation, something like the Jem'Hadar set did last week, or damage recovery, or not damage recovery, but threat generation, like some of the other sets might. Then, for our warp core and everything, since the Quantum Phase set does not have a warp core, we have to source one out, and we've gone yet again with our trusted staple core, the Temporal Phase Overcharged Warp Core. Now this is one that we use quite a bit here on the show because it is a very great warp core on the budget end. It's very hard, in my opinion, to beat this core out unless you start taking into account other things like maybe the Kobali core or maybe a fleet core or something along those lines. Now what makes this core so good is if you were here several years ago for the Delta recruitment event with the launch of Delta Rising, then you're probably familiar with a little device known as the Temporal Negotiator. And the Temporal Negotiator, whenever it was used, would cut your bridge officer cooldowns in half for the duration of the time that it was active. This essentially gives you the same thing in the form of a warp core capacitor. So it can be a nice chunk of cooldown reduction in a pinch whenever it's needed. So that is a very big deal there. Then, as far as our devices go, one little addendum I do want to make here is the builder for this particular ship is not entirely up to date. There was some changes to the ship made not long after it was released. Although it says there's only 2 device slots here in the builder, there is actually a 3rd device slot that is available on the ship in-game. But all the same, we normally think of devices as personal preference. However, one that we do always like to recommend, because most likely you will be able to pick it up during the story, is the subspace field modulator. This actually comes from the skirmish mission, and is one that any of the 3 factions, soon to be 4, will or should have access to, and everything. Now, this little device, whenever it is used, will give you essentially the free equivalent of a neutronium armor, while it is active in terms of resistances. Now, it does come with a potentially nasty downside, and that is the fact that it debuffs you for a minus 400 protonic damage resistance rating. Now, there aren't really too many enemies in-game that use protonic damage. However, there are enough of them that it does warrant at least making a note of it. And then some other devices you might consider would be maybe Jevonite hardpoints, particle flood batteries, energy amplifiers, red matter capacitor, and everything. They're pretty much saying there's a ton of devices out there that you could use. And as far as our consoles go, it's a 4 engineering, 2 science, 5 tactical console layout, and it does come with 1 hangar bay and everything. Now, the hangar bay, I usually leave blank on this because I don't like to assume what hangar pets people will have access to and everything. Now, this particular ship, it does come with a set of Jem'Hadar fighters, blue quality, whenever you unbox the ship itself. As far as our engineering consoles go, we have some staples that we've seen a few times now. We have the Trillium deplating. This particular console will give you a nice chunk of damage resistance and a nice chunk of shield capacity just by having it on the ship. So it's basically a field generator and a neutronium armor slammed into one console. Then we have our assimilated module. This gives a nice chunk of critical chance and severity, as well as a little bit of control expertise and everything, which is a nice little bit extra to have. Then we have our reinforced armaments. The main strength to this console is the fact that it gives a nice chunk of power transfer, as well as some other nice bonuses. We'll take a look at the 2-set bonus between it and the Omni in just a minute. Then we have, for science consoles, our Temporal Disentanglement Suite. Now, this is an all-around good console to have, especially at the budget end. It gives a nice chunk of shield capacity, a nice little bit of shield damage resistance, and it also gives a nice little bit of critical chance and severity dependent upon your AUX power. So, whether you're a DPS, whether you're a tank, this is a pretty good console to have because it will touch all 3 areas as far as tanking goes. It gives a bit of, damage negation. It gives a bit of critical severity and everything for threat generation. And it can touch base a little bit on damage recovery in the form of the capacity that it can give. Then finally we have our quantum phase converter, and this essentially is a free tactical console for phasers based on the stats that it gives. Now it does, I believe this one gives a hot restart to, I think AUX is the one this gives the restart to, which so it gives a hot restart to auxiliary power, which is a very nice thing to have, and that guarantees that at least once per minute you're going to be able to restart your AUX power if it gets disabled. Always nice to have, and it rounds out our quantum phase 3-piece. We'll take a look at the set bonuses in just a moment. Finally, to round out our build, we have 5 of the phaser relays from the Of Sign's Importance mission. Since that mission was introduced, we can now get phaser-specific tactical consoles, which is a very good thing. As far as some of the tactics, really quickly, before we look at the set bonuses, the overall intention of the ship, hopefully you guys can kind of see what we're going for, is to take advantage of the dual beam banks up front, and then as needed, you can swing the ship around, crack off a quantum phase torpedo, or give them a nice little kick in the pants as you're flying around for another pass. But we'll take a quick look in game here at some of our set bonuses, since I actually have some of the items on me. Now, one thing with our Quantum Phase set that is really good is the incoming shield healing buff to self on the shields. And it is going to totally be that guy, so let's actually put this on the ship so we can actually see the set bonuses. Alright, so for the set bonus that you're going to get here, the first one is the 2 set. It is 17.8 maximum shield capacity on the 2 set, and it reduces all energy damage to shields by 7.5%. So it's got a nice bit of damage negation there that you have. Then for the 3 set, this is where this particular set can get kind of nasty. And it's a 2-minute recharge, it's a 12-second power. It says firing energy weapons for 12 seconds triggers a quantum entanglement between self and foe. To self, you get a 5.4% energy damage increase for 12 seconds, maximum of 10 stacks. So that's potentially a 54%. I believe that is a Cat 1 bonus. And then to foe, they suffer a minus 5.4% energy weapon damage for 12 seconds. And this can be increased through the Drain Expertise skill. So a nice little kick in the pants to the foe, a nice boost to your own damage and everything for whenever you're ready to go for broke. And between the Trillium D, the Temporal Disentanglement Suite, and the 3 set bonus here, you're going to have quite a bit of shield capacity to play with here. Then let me put that back on there before I forget. Let's see if this one is going to spaz on me. Then for our 2 set bonus for the Quantum Phase items and everything, for the 2 set you get a plus 15 accuracy rating. It doubles the potency of the Quantum Phase shield drain on the beam, and doubles the potency of the Quantum Phase high yield torpedo shield heal and everything. So that's the real strength as far as the 2 set bonuses and everything. For the 3 set bonus and everything, it is a 10-kilometer range. It is a 2-minute recharge. It deals so much phaser damage per second for 10 seconds. To foe, it's going to do a minus 2.2 all subsystem power for 10 seconds. To self, you're going to gain a plus 2.2 all power to subsystems per second for 10 seconds. Now, this can be boosted by EPG and Drain Expertise, and we have been able to confirm independently that if you have phaser boosting abilities on the ship, that will boost the phaser damage itself. Now, it's on the tooltip, its reading is 0 at the moment. That's because we're technically on a ground map as I'm reading this, so the numbers are going to be slightly distorted. So your numbers are probably going to be different than what I'm reading off. But for our phaser, I'll point the tooltip at that really quick. Instead of just the normal phaser subsystem offline, they have a chance to drain shields from the enemy and restore them to yourself. So that's a pretty good thing to have there. Then finally, we'll take a look at the set bonuses for, and if I could not fail at buttons. Spammed again there. But then for our 2 set bonus that we're going to have for our trilithium weapon and our console, we have a 5% firing cycle haste for energy weapons and a plus 15 to flight speed. Everything, which is very nice. And then you can see the 3 set bonus there, since we don't have the torpedo. But just to touch base, it is a plus 20 all damage resist rating, plus 20 starship hull capacity, and everything. So you've got quite a few set bonuses to draw on, quite a few abilities to take advantage of here to boost your shields, boost your overall survival and capacity. Now for our skills and everything, this is similar to the build, almost. I think this may actually be the exact same skill setup from last week and everything. We still have 2 points in our hull and shield capacity each, 1 point into shield and hull restoration each. We have 3 points into advanced energy weapon training. Then we have 2 points into improved EPS flow, 1 point into impulse expertise, 2 points into control and drain expertise each, 2 points into targeting expertise and defensive maneuvering each, versus the normal 3. I'll explain that in just a minute. But that's going to make your ship harder to hit, as well as guaranteeing that you're going to be able to offset some of the firing mode, or the accuracy penalties to firing modes like thaw and scatter volley and so on. We have all 3 points into our hull platings, which is free damage reduction, just by having those slotted in the skill tree. Then we have 2 points into improved shield hardness. This is going to be free damage reduction to the shields. Then we have advanced weapon amplification and specialization. This is free critical chance and severity just by having these slotted. Then we have a point into defensive and offensive subsystem tuning each. And everything, if you wanted to, you could further specialize into each of the individual subsystems to pick up a little extra power. We have 2 points into the exotic particle generators, and also 3 points in the long-range target sensors. That's going to reduce that weapon drop-off penalty by quite a bit. Then you have your choice of either hull penetration or shield penetration. There is no right or wrong answer here, and you can make arguments for either one. For this particular build, to take advantage of the trait that is actually on the ship, we went with hull penetration this go-around. On the Admiral tier, we have the Warp Core Potential, which is free power to all of our subsystems. Then, since this is a carrier and everything, we've picked up all 3 points into our coordination protocols. This is going to make our pets a lot stronger all across the board. And then we have 1 point into the tactical readiness, which is going to give us a bit of a recharge time bonus into our tactical-based powers. And I believe I hear a cat outside the door. But, anyways, that's what we have for our skills. Going into our specializations, to kind of balance this a little bit between tanking and damage, we picked up Pilot as our primary. This is going to allow the ship to move around really easily, give us some nice defensive powers to work with and everything. And then Intel is going to give us a nice little chunk of offensive power to play with as well. Then coming into our traits. For our personal space traits, we have Accurate. That's going to offset some of that accuracy penalty to firing modes like Thaw and Scatter Volley a bit more. We have Beam Training for free beam damage. Then we have the Beam Barrage as our R&D crafting trait. Now we always like to assume that whenever we make these builds that you've leveled at least one of the crafting schools, so you can have some way of generating EC and stuff whenever you get to max level. In this particular case, we assume you've chosen the Beam R&D crafting school for that trait. Next we have Elusive for free defensive value. That's going to make your ship harder to hit in combat. Then we have Fleet Coordinator for free damage based on how many people are in your party, which does include yourself. So it is a minimum of a 2% boost, up to a 10% boost if you're in a full team of 5. Then we have the career-specific trait of Grace Under Fire. Now this is because the builder defaults to engineers as the standard. If you are not an engineering character but you would still like to use the build, then simply swap in your own career-specific trait in place of Grace Under Fire and you'll be fine. Next we have the Nanite Repair Matrix, which comes from the Midnight Mission and is a nice little hull heal whenever you drop below 50% strength. It can occur once every 90 seconds. Then we have Point Blank Shot from the House Peg mission. It increases your energy weapon damage the closer you are to the target, up to a specific maximum. And then to round it out, we have the Operative for a little bit of extra crit chance and severity here. For our starship traits, there's actually 3 of them that go around everything, and I see I actually kind of forgot to slot the last one from Intel, but didn't really see it as too helpful here. We have the best defense, which is also from House Peg. Your attack patterns grant a hull healing buff along with the normal based effects. Then comes the trait that we actually have from the ship itself. Now, with our Jem'Hadar ship here, it says activating tactical team will provide a boost to hull pin for a short time. The buff does not stack. Now, for those that are curious, I'll mouse over the trait for you in game. It's actually a 20 armor pin for 10 seconds whenever you pop tactical team. So that's a pretty nice chunk of armor pin to have just from popping attack team. Then, for our last starship trait here, we have the improved pedal to the metal, which will come from our pilot. Maintaining full throttle for a duration allows you to build up excess resonant energy, can be directed into outgoing attacks, giving free damage. So, free damage as long as you stay at full throttle, essentially. For our space reputation abilities, we have the Aux Power Offensive, which is a free boost to accuracy and damage based on Aux Power. And what in the heck is that cat doing? Methinks after the show I'm going to have to get some cats because I think they're into stuff they're not supposed to be. And in case anybody's wondering, yes, I have 2 cats. And they like to get into trouble and things they are not supposed to. That's cats for you. But they're fun little critters to keep around and they catch mice, which is good, so. Anyways, back to the build. Next we have our precision for free critical hit chance in space, and this is free crit just by slotting this. The next thing we have is the advanced targeting systems, which is free critical severity in space combat, again just by having that on the ship. Then finally, to round it off, we have the chronocapacitor array, which is free bridge officer cooldown reduction time, and this will stack with what we already have in our skill tree, so a pretty decent chunk of cooldown reduction there. For our active reputation powers, we have the anti-time entanglement singularity. This is a nice little AoE kick in the pants and slow to the enemies that will do physical damage to anything within the range. Then we have the biomolecular shield generator. This gives a nice little bit of healing to the shields, as well as damage reduction to shields to anybody within the area. This is the little green ball you see a lot of people use in ISA and similar maps. Then we have our quantum singularity manipulation. This increases all science stats by plus 100 for the duration that it's active, as well as giving a temporary cloaking effect. Now, to get more bang for your buck out of a power like this, pop any exotic or science-based buffs you may have first, follow with your quantum singularity manipulation, crack off anything maybe like a gravity well, or any control powers you might have, follow up with your anti-time entanglement singularity, and you will get a lot more bang for your buck. Then, our final reputation power is the deploy sensor interference platform and everything. This is a nice little oh crap thing that I like to have on most of my builds. Basically what this does is whenever you use it, it deploys a little sensor platform that will taunt enemies to itself, and it will keep doing this until either the time runs out on the platform or the platform gets destroyed, whichever of those two comes first. So that's what we have for traits and everything there. Now getting into the bridge officers. What can we do with a ship like this? Now, for our seating, we have a Lieutenant Commander Universal / Pilot, a Lieutenant Universal, a Commander Tactical, a Lieutenant Engineering / Intel, and a Lieutenant Science. Now, on the builder, you'll notice for this, whenever you go back and look at it at the notes at the time of recording this, that I actually left one of the powers on the Intel seat blank. That is because for whatever reason, that seat is bugged in the builder, and it will not let me slot not tactical, but it will not let me slot the Intel power that's supposed to be there, so I included that in the notes and everything, which is actually supposed to be an OSS, but we'll look at that in just a minute. To begin with our Commander Tactical, We have a tactical team, which is going to allow us to take advantage of our trait, as well as its normal effect. We have a torpedo spread 2 to take advantage of our quantum phase torpedo. We have a beam fire at will, which is going to allow us to smack most anything in range with our beams. And then finally, an attack pattern beta 3, in this case for the nice debuff that it gives to the enemy. Next, we have our Lieutenant Science, which is our hazard emitters, which is a heal over time effect, which will purge certain things like Borg plasma fires and so on. Then we also have our Science Team 2. This is going to heal our shields a little bit, as well as purging certain debuffs like the subnucleonic-based effects that a lot of enemies like to use. Then we also have in our Lieutenant Universal, we made this one into a engineer. And we have our Engineering Team 1. This is going to repair our hull whenever we need to, as well as purging the viral matrix type effects that the Iconians love to throw around. Then we have our Reverse Shield Polarity, which is going to recharge our shields in a pinch based off of incoming damage. And now getting into our Specialist seats here. So for our Lieutenant Engineering / Intel, this blank power here is actually supposed to be an override subsystem safeties. The good thing about that power is it allows you to access some of that overcapped power that you're not otherwise normally able to tap into without a power such as this. Then we have the Emergency Power to Weapons 2. That's going to give a nice little chunk of power to your weapons, as well as a damage boost for the duration. Now for our final seat here, since you have a Lieutenant Commander Universal / Pilot, you've really got a lot of options you could go with here. You could throw it into a tactical if you wanted more of an offensive focus. You could throw it into an engineer if you wanted more pure defense, or you could go for something such as a balanced approach like what I've tried to do here. Now for this particular seat, on the first ability we have a Transfer Shield Strength. This is going to allow us to repair our shields a little bit. Then we have our Hold Together, which is a nice little heal from the pilot tree. Then finally we have our Gravity Well 1, which is a nice control-based power that we can call on whenever we need. But that's what we've got as far as our bridge officer powers. As far as, and I forgot to load the costs into the notes and everything. At least that's what it's saying here. Is it showing for you guys?
Well, dang
Oh crap. Well, I guess the builder's bugged out again.
Look at it and break it down. So most of this gear is straight episode reward. Looks like the only thing you bought was the crafted Omni Beam. Everything else
the Omni
was,
Beam.
yeah.
But I can remember most everything. Yeah, as far as our budget goes and everything, like I said, this was a bare bones build. We assumed 2 million EC that we could spend, and most of that was picking up our Omni Beam. As far as that goes, everything else is from the different episodes within the game and whatnot. I'll have to update these notes and whatnot later. But, anyways, as far as the lithium and everything went, you're only looking at about 15,000 dilithium in order to build the ship out, and that was purely for the assimilated module. And that's about 2 days build time for this particular ship, assuming that you went for everything in 1 day, and that you only had 1 tune refining dilithium. So this is actually one of the cheaper and quicker builds that we've produced and everything. But
that look
yeah,
pretty.
Final comments on our budget build, folks.
What am I saying? It's Jim Hadar. What am I talking about?
He went there.
And he went
But,
there.
well, I mean, you and I had talked about it before the show, where I would have gone more down the DPS road and made that Lieutenant Commander Universal a tactical. But, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, with a ship like this and everything, you definitely have a lot of flexibility to work with. Like Kirby was saying, you could make that Lieutenant Commander Universal into a tactical seat if you wanted to. Go for a more offensive focused. You could stick with a balanced approach like what we have in the Builder, or you could go pure defensive for something more like engineering. Point being, you've got a lot of options with a ship like this, and I know that's going to be something a lot of people are going to like, especially going for the Jim Hadar stuff coming around. As far as the budget builds, that's what we've got for this evening for our budget build. Moving along to the bugs corner. I don't really have anything too major at the moment. Most of the bugs that we had talked about a couple of weeks prior had actually been fixed, such as the visuals appearing as a bright white for some of the shields and stuff in the Sol system and everything. If you are still seeing that, do let me know everything so I can pass that along. Whatnot. But what about you guys?
No, actually,
Wrong to ask that in. I should have known better,
last
but
week it was mentioned in the patch notes that the Renegades Regret no longer awarded a random food item.
There's still a food item.
Well, yes, there's still a food item. It's
got
still
fleas.
listed as a it's still listed as a reward, and it's still rewarding that whatever the food item that it shows when you pick it up. So it's still doing it.
it sounds.
At this point, I'm just counted as
not
complimentary
surprising,
meal with our
honestly.
mission. So
Which,
I think we should just start adding food to all the missions at this
yeah, I
point.
can agree with that.
Hey.
Yeah, we all have to eat at some point, right? We don't go starving.
Well, you know, it is one way to ensure the continuation of the tribble population.
Now that's a nasty thought. Yeah, here, have a forced food item. Now you can't get rid of it until you actually dispose of it. Oh look, now you got 2 tribbles. What would be terrible if I gave you another food item? Alright, yeah.
But anyways, that's what we've got for the bugs corner this week and everything. It's actually been kind of quiet on my end. I've not been getting as many bug reports lately and everything. And like I say, people, you are welcome to pass bug reports on to us if you know us in game. Just say, hey, you know, this is what I'm seeing. If you've got screenshots and video of the bug, that's even better, because maybe the devs could see something that maybe we missed and everything, whatnot, and I could pass the info along to them. I can guarantee that they get it, but anyways, moving along to our next segment of the evening, we have the Teacher's Corner. What have you got for us this week?
Continuing the series of gear available from different fleet holdings, gear and other items available. So this week I explored the dilithium mine and show off some of the gear and other things that are available there. Things like the extra 500 dilithium refining project, or yeah, that's a daily thing you can do, or the miner duty officer that you can buy and complete projects there for extra dilithium and DC, and as well as gear like warp cores and consoles, etc., etc. Questions, comments?
Always helpful.
Sounds pretty good.
Yes.
But anyways, that's what we've got for the Teacher's Corner. We'll have a link to that in the notes and everything. And keep in mind, she does take requests for videos. That's where actually a lot of her videos come from, I believe. But moving along to our final segment of the evening, we have the RP
this
Corner with
time
Artie.
I've actually
What do you
got
got for
a
us this week,
request
dude?
from a fleet mate of mine that's noticed something with a few RP communities that he's been a part of before. A them as black hole characters or players, mostly due to having their roleplay character be the center of attention in anything they do. And this could be somewhat hazardous to the community as a whole due to, nobody wants to be, it's for everyone to be the main character, not, one person to be the main character and everyone else is just sitting around looking for, oh, mighty Mr. Awesome guy to come do the job for us because he can do everything. Yeah. But, basically, this is more or less a PSA for people to watch out for them and keep an eye out for them, because these kind of players, I mean, there are some that are pretty bad, and there are some that don't meet up with what I'm talking about. But you will notice that there is some that they do match up as trying to be the center of attention, trying to cause drama in character or even out of character, to just be talked about, even for a couple minutes until they do it again. I'm not saying that you need to not decline these guys. This is for your fleet leadership and whatnot to deal with it their own ways. But my whole recommendation behind it is, if these kind of characters do pop up, don't blatantly ignore them. Take it like you would in any Star Trek episode. Yeah, that's happened. Oh my goodness, that happened. Well, just put that as a rumor and have it be like, oh yeah, Kira and Odo kissed in the middle of the promenade. They did what? Basically something like that. They're just having their episode that their episode's focused around them. You're just a side character in that episode. But your episode is all about everything else, so you don't have to worry about it. But I digress. No, that's a few signs I've listed here, point out what these characters kind of do, or at least from what I've seen in my experience, that these characters tend to do like visual displays of violence, like flipping tables, throwing bartenders, that crazy stuff. Yelling, a lot of in-character yelling for no reason. Flagellant expressing of emotion. Like, for example, I've seen a character walk into a bar where everyone's just calmly having, a few drinks here, nothing too grand, it's just a normal, calm day. He flies in, epic wind, rock music might as well be going around in the background, doves flying out from his arms. Now going, look at me, Mr. Awesome is here. And then get angry when no one pays attention to him, both in character and out of character. That kind of stuff is toxic. But no, that's about it. Otherwise, I'll be rambling about this. Nobody wants that.
So in other words, you don't want the guy that wants to hog on the spotlight.
Basically, yeah. Although these kind of characters do pop up, and the player itself may not realize that it's an issue, I don't recommend just blatantly telling the player to screw off. I do recommend, a little bit of dialogue, figure out what the issue is. If it is an issue, if they do know what's going on and they're purposely doing that, or they don't realize that they're causing too much of a problem, or who knows, maybe that's actually how the fleet rolls and that's what you guys do. That's your game. I'm not really judging here. I'm just pointing that out. So that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely something to keep in mind, whatnot. Guess nobody likes a glory hog when it comes to things. But anyways, we'll have this stuff in the notes for you guys and whatnot. You can check this out after our show and whatnot. But anyways, that's our final segment of the evening, folks. Whatnot. We will have everything in the notes for you guys. All that good stuff. Shout out to our good friends over at the Temporal Armada. Be sure to check them out and everything. They're a very cool, chill bunch of people and everything. Definitely a good radio program and everything that they have going. Also, be sure to check out our other good friends over at the Kurtang Pirate Radio. The party is there. They usually have some pretty good music going at about all times. But, anyways, also, if you have requests for a budget build, feel free to let us know and everything. We'll, let us know what kind of ship it is that you've got. Let us know your budget level and everything. Maybe you've just got a bare bones type of budget, kind of like what we did tonight. Maybe you want something more along the mid-range, or maybe you want something more high-end and everything. We do budgets at pretty much all levels and everything. So just let us know, hey, I've got this ship, I want to be a DPS, or I want to be a space wizard, or I want to be a tank, whatever it is. We'll see if we can't help you out. If you think your gear and your ship is in order, but you need to improve your piloting a little bit, maybe if you could just get to that one boss fight just a little bit quicker, or something, you can improve and everything. If you would like help with your piloting, feel free to submit a brief little video clip to us of your piloting on our website and everything. We'll be sure to check that out. Let us know again, what are you wanting to do? Are you wanting to be a space wizard? Are you wanting to be that epic tank, or that epic DPSer, or support character even? Whatever it is you're wanting to do, and we'll see if we can't help you out. So if you have requests and everything for Teacher's Corner, feel free to let her know and everything. Maybe you just don't know where to pick up a certain kind of duty officer, or a certain kind of gear, or there's just that one little piece of the game that you don't really get that well, and you need some help with. But let her know, and she may just do a video over your request. If you've got bugs and everything, feel free to let us know. We'll be sure to pass them along to the devs. I do have their ear for stuff like this and everything. But also, if you have any requests for the RP Corner, maybe there's a certain type of situation you want to try to RP out, but you're not really sure where to go with it or how to set it up and everything, feel free to submit that to Artie, and he might be able to help you out. But anyways, folks, that's what we have for a show this evening. Hope you guys enjoyed it and everything, and whatnot. Hope you found some of this useful and everything. But for now, folks, this is the Pilot Review Show, and we are reminding you, please have your tribbles spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody.